Hi, it's Sarah SMUTNY, your host of the Simply Balanced podcast. I'm super happy that you're listening in today. And here in this podcast, we are going to go deep on gut health, anti-inflammatory living, spirituality, self-care, and so much more. I'm interviewing a very, very inspiring guest from the holistic health world. And this time I'm having Mai as a guest. I know her already for quite some years, and she made a lot of transformations also herself in her business. And now she kind of found her way, which is being an embodied leadership coach. But I will ask her, of course, everything about it, because I also don't know exactly what this means, but it sounds very, very intriguing. So Mai, welcome first of all. And who is Mai actually? I know you already a bit, but for our listeners, who is Mai?
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on your podcast. I feel super, super honored. So thank you for that. And who am I? Oh, so it's so difficult to share yourself in a few words. But I would say I'm someone who loves to work with people, who's super curious about people, about the way we think, what we feel, how we behave. And that has always been a very long fascination. And that led me to doing the work that I'm doing right now. Yeah. And other than that, I love matcha. I love healthy food. And I just love everything about personal growth and living a holistic life.
Yeah. That's also what connects us so much.
Yes, definitely.
But I remember that once, I think it was in one of your Instagram posts, you shared something about a story about with your mother or something. You remember that your mother, she was always also a leader kind of in the family, and she kind of inspired you to become a bit what you are now.
Yes, definitely. So my mom is a very fierce lady and very kind as well. But she was when she grew up, at some point there was the Vietnamese War. She was the youngest of 12 children, and she was a girl as well. And not to tell too much about her life, because I could write books about her life. But let's just say that at some point she was supposed to join the army, because most of her siblings passed away because of poverty or because of the war. And at some point, one of her oldest brothers, so there were only 2 brothers left. And of course, in our culture, men are more favored than women. So at some point, my oldest uncle was already in the army, and my youngest uncle was the only one left in the house. So when they came to it's almost like Mulan, So when they came to pick up my last uncle to join the army, my grandmother begged and asked, "Can you please leave him alone? He's my only son left. So can you please leave him? Take my daughter instead." So my mom was taken away to join the army. And of course, she hated it. So together with 2 other women, she escaped. She came back to her house. And then, of course, they went looking for her. So she changed her last name. So I carry a different last name than my whole family and my mom as well. She changed her last name. She went to the south. And at some point, she managed to escape Vietnam through a boat. And
getting the goosebumps, really. Well, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a part of what all the badass things she has done in her life. I mean, she's done so many things to it. But anyway, she met my father in the refugee camp, and she ended up in Thailand. And back then, Thai people were not so nice to Vietnamese people, especially because they were refugees. So women were raped all the time. There were so many horrible things that happened to women and to Vietnamese people in general. So my father was the leader of a gang protecting all the Vietnamese people. and he sent one of his people to protect my mom, and so they got together and they created me. So I think both the fairness of both my parents are really embedded within me. So when I was little, even though my Vietnamese culture told me to look like a doll, like smile, to smile, not speak too much, and this and that, I couldn't ignore that fierceness. And because so many things in my life have happened, I thought it was so important to take leadership over your own life and just go after everything that you believe in. And that's something that my mom really taught me. Like, okay, okay, she did it because she needed to survive. But yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from that.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a beautiful story, honestly. And yeah, super inspired. I really want to meet your mom. Yeah. But that's already, I think that says so much, the story already, you really have it in you. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
So because you changed because before you had the name, I don't remember anymore. You had a different name.
Rebalance.
Yes. And now, since a while, you changed it to Ohnsu. What does Ohnsu actually mean, and why did you do that?
Okay. So first of all, why I changed is because with Atelier Rebalance, I really focused on doing body and healing work. So it was really just that. And this is why it was like rebalancing yourself. But at a certain point, I shifted more and more towards leadership, whether that was business coaching or leadership coaching. It was really about like, how can you heal your body and how can you like take that ownership, right? And self-leadership. And so I felt that Atelier Rebalance was too passive of a name. And I wanted something that was more represented this warrior feeling and something that represented the person that I'm working with, who they become, which is like almost like your own goddess or your own god, like this true embodiment of who you are. And so I thought, okay, what name can I give my business and what name can I give this person? Because if this is like your most defined self, I was thinking, oh, maybe I could create a name that's like inspired by God or goddess. And so I found Oshun, who is an African goddess, who's like super badass as well. She's not like your sweet, perfect goddess, but she's like just really badass. I thought, okay, I'm gonna create a name that's like inspired by her, that both men and women can feel related to. So then I played with the letters, and then I ended up with Ohnsu.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, everybody wants to be a god or girl, and you feel like that, let's say. Yeah. And it's nice that you also directly think about who the person you work with becomes, directly when you start already working with them.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, I have to correct myself, sorry, because in a way, it's already within them. It's just that the process brings it out.
Just feeling of all the
feeling of all the limiting beliefs, all the patterns, all the expectations of society.
Yeah. And often that's why people also have this frustration. At least I see that in my own, health coaching, because they know deeply, deeply inside what they could be.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes them then so frustrated I had the same, years ago. I knew like I'm meant for more, but I didn't know what.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's so frustrating when you experience that and you don't know like, oh, how do I get it out of me, right? And how do I connect with that part of me?
Yeah. But that's why you are there. And embodied leadership coaching, it sounds super cool. So what does it actually mean exactly? Like what do you do with your clients in your coaching?
Yeah, so what I do is I do I do a lot of things with my coaching clients. But where I want to take them to is really to, like I said, embody their true self, like really figure out who is it that I truly am. What do I love? Why do I love that? How do I see the world? What do I see in front of me for myself? But also for, if I work with both entrepreneurs and with executives. So if it's with entrepreneurs, it's about like, okay, what is my impact and how do I want to lead my own clients towards their own transformation or through their own transformation? And how do I show up as a confident leader so they can rely on me or they feel like carried and guided by me, right? And the same for executives. When I work with executives, they often have like a team that they manage. And how can they do that without being this dominant executive? Yeah. I mean, most of the people are not as that dominant, but I mean, like, without like, you have to do it like this or you have to do that, but really to create space so people feel safe to express and to make mistakes and to that they feel trusted, that they have potential and that they can do the work the way they think is important.
The word comes into my mind like rise by lifting others.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly that. So I'm helping the person to become that kind of leader. Like I said, whether you're an entrepreneur or an executive, it comes down to the same thing. Yeah, I do that through really removing all the patterns that you're used to doing. So I always say we're always triggered by situations, right? And by recognizing the trigger, we can create new patterns. But this trigger is not just in our mind, but it's also within our body. So what I'm doing is we zoom in within the mind part. So we look, okay, where is it coming from? Where did you first started to learn that? Often it has its roots in family dynamics. Yeah. So we look at your family dynamic and we try to break free from that. And then we also look at it from a body point of view. And then we see, okay, if this situation happened, where do you experience it within your body? And what emotions do you experience? And how does your body, like, what shape is your body taking? So sometimes people tend to do this, and that's like, oh, I'm walking away from it. But when they do this, they're like, really, yeah. So we look at the body shapes and we try to center and work with the triggers. Yeah. So you learn it from both perspectives.
Yeah. And then you also work with the chakras, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you work like really globally with and on the person.
Yes. Yes. So I really work holistically on the person. And when we work with the chakras, I tune in with people's energy fields. Often people already feel it. And then I just make them aware and say like, hey, what do you experience there? For example, your throat. And then some people see things themselves. So we just walk through all the possibilities and we just explore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I think, every entrepreneur would need that. Yeah. And because you say a lot of the word leadership, and do you think that self-leadership is the key for success as an entrepreneur or executive?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Because the moment that you're really embody yourself and you also know what your vision is, because every entrepreneur and executive has a vision of where they want to lead people towards, not just for themselves, but also for their team. And the moment that's all clear, you can actually lead people. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm repeating things.
But I think it's also having a big impact on the vibration of the person and also being more magnetic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Then you attract the good things, the opportunities, the people, without having to use power on them.
No, definitely. It's really,
Less on the floor, more on the floor.
Exactly. Exactly. Because the moment that you're in your space, like when you're really embodied yourself, you become so magnetic, not just for the people around you, but also for opportunities, So
Yeah. Have you also experienced that for yourself, like that you became more magnetic since you got into your center?
yes. It's not just even being more magnetic, but it's also so easy to manifest everything that I'm envisioning. It's like, oh, okay. For example, I would like to have more clients this month. How about, can you give me 2 more clients? Boom, 2 more clients, Or not just that, but currently I manifested my new house. So I'm moving next or in a few days. So there's just like, it's so interesting to play with this energy. But I'm also noticing when I'm not in my center and when I'm not in that energy, it's much harder to be magnetic and to manifest things. So
yeah. So energy is everything, honestly. Yeah. And being an entrepreneur can be so easy if you're in this energy. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I made the same, like a similar experience. The last week I was having dinner with a friend, and I was, really enjoying myself and giving and allowing myself this time. And I was, super in this joy. And then I received an email from a client who wanted to work with me. And I was thinking, it can be so easy. I don't need to chase clients or, do all these marketing techniques out there. Just be in my center, and then people want to have a piece of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And before we end with our episode, can you give one example, maybe without, of course, telling names or anything, from one client experience, what like a transformation or something that's always super inspiring, I find. Or something, like a nice story. I always like stories.
Okay, sure. About my clients, or should I just keep myself as an example? Maybe that's...
if you want. What do you want?
Okay, sure. So the transformation that, I'm currently going through a huge transformation, so I could tell more about that if you want.
Yeah.
So for the past years, I've been really looking into, okay, what is it that I really want in my life? And it was a little hard, even though I had all the tools. But it was just really hard to really think, okay, this is what I want. This is the life that I'm seeing. And I kept myself really small in every single way. And often it's because when you love people like dearly, whether that's your parents, your husband, or whoever, you tend to, or at least I tend to, a lot of space to that person, and just give without thinking, where is it that I want to stand, and what is it that I want, right?
Yeah.
So to be honest, in the past 2.5 years, I've been really, really unhappy, even though my business was going well, but I felt very unhappy. And I thought, I really need to change this. And so I decided to divorce. I decided to really go into the direction of embodied leadership and not hide my spiritual gifts. And so what I'm saying is that I made choices to not hide myself anymore and not lower myself towards for the sake of love. And from then on, magic happened, because I've never had such a booming business. I've never been so magnetic. I never felt so vibrant, and manifesting things have never been so easy.
Yeah, because I think it's a bit like the universe says, great, you're on the right path. Here you have, some little, rewards, for finding the choice.
Exactly. Exactly. It kind of feels that way. I do have to say, because it feels a bit weird. I mean, my husband and I, or ex-husband and I, are really on speaking terms, and we still care about each other a lot. So we're really nice to each other. But we realize that this is just not working for the both of us. So I think it's not just for me, but even for him, it's a good choice, right? So what I would like to say with this story is that sometimes some choices seem very scary. It's also very scary to choose yourself, but so much magic is waiting for you at the other side. So
yeah, I'm getting the goosebumps again. Yeah. So I'm sure lots of people listening will now think, oh my God, I need to contact May. So how can people and where can they contact you? I will, of course, put everything in the show notes. But, maybe just to explain a bit.
Well, I'm on LinkedIn and I'm on Instagram. On LinkedIn and on Instagram, you can find me at Mai Ohnsu. On Instagram is mai.ohnsu. And my website is www.ohnsu.com.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing also so much personal stories of yourself and your mom and your business, of course. And you are really such an inspiration for me. Also, I think for the whole business world to do business and also live in a much more flowing, natural way. Yeah, and enjoy life. Yeah, that's why it fits so much to my podcast, because it's all about enjoying the journey. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You're not just forcing and thinking in 5 years I'm gonna earn so much, and then you didn't enjoy the journey, and then you have this money, and what for? Let's say.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, enjoying the process is the best tip indeed that you can give someone. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
the reminder. Yeah.
So thanks so much, and I hope you also enjoyed, like the people listening, our talk, and see you at the next time.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you for everyone for listening. Thank you, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye.